Hey, this is Daniel with the Nostril, and today I want to talk to you about an amazing iris scent from the house of Prada. Now, those of you who watch my channel and are aware of Prada scents might hear that and go, he's about to talk about Prada L'Homme. That's not actually the case though. Today I want to talk to you about Prada Iris Cedre. It is a beautiful floral iris with a woody cedar backbone. Glorious, well blended, and to a certain extent, more likable and higher quality than Prada L'Homme. So if you want to hear more, you want to hear about the notes breakdown, you want to hear what this smells like, and you want to hear a little bit about what some of the similarities and differences are between Prada Iris Cedre and Prada L'Homme, stay tuned. We're going to talk about it today. It's no secret in the fragrance world that Prada does iris extremely well. In fact, arguably iris is the signature note of the house. In the men's line, at the very least, Prada L'Homme has this incredibly crisp, slightly floral, ever so slightly indolic iris supported by neroli and woods. It's gorgeous. But often overlooked, and in my mind, potentially even better than Prada L'Homme, is Prada Infusion Iris Cedre. Now this is part of their unisex line, and this is the scent that replaced Prada Infusion L'Homme, which was a counterpart to Prada Infusion d'Iris from the women's line of the Infusion selections. Now this smells, to my nose, pretty much like Prada Infusion D'Homme. It smells like they just decided, okay, this scent is good enough to go into our unisex line. Let's move it from the gender specific line into the unisex line. It smells amazing. It smells classy. It smells crisp and clean and beautiful. And the bottle is absolutely lovely too. To be honest, I am not a fan of the Prada L'Homme bottle. I think it looks kind of, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't speak to me. That kind of glossy mirrored thing that they have going on. I don't know, it's fine. But this just screams class. I believe the bottle was designed by Lalique. And you can tell that a longtime designer of glass bottles is the company behind it, because look at that metal plate on there that with the name of the house. The information is actually a sticker on the side, and I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it actually lists the notes as well, in addition to the contents, the list of ingredients and the strength of the perfume, along with the amount of juice that's actually in the bottle. This is a 100 milliliter bottle, by the way. Is this also a 100 milliliter bottle? It is. This looks much bigger than this, but yet apparently they're both 100 milliliters. I guess there's more glass going on here. So let's talk about what this smells like, because now there are some similarities between this and Prada L'Homme. But I think Prada L'Homme is by far the better seller, and I think it's by far the more popular scent. And so most likely, if you smelled anything from the Prada men's line that isn't Luna Rossa, then you probably smelled Prada L'Homme. So if you're at all familiar with that scent, you'll know that it is an iris forward scent that's supported by neroli, and that adds a kind of, it's a dewy, powdery iris supported by woods, I think there's some cedar, there's some kind of fuzzy modern woods in there as well. It's a really nice scent. A lot of people will compare it to Dior Homme, the pre-2020 formulation. But it's quite a different scent than that, because Prada L'Homme has neroli that kind of dampens the scent a little bit. By dampens, I mean it makes it more wet, more dewy than the very dry, crisp Prada or Dior Homme. Now this is slightly more crisp and dry than Prada L'Homme. Let me spray it on my hand and we'll talk about actual notes and what comes out when you actually spray it. Pretty good sprayer, a little bit better than the Prada L'Homme. Oh yeah, I stand corrected. That's a good spray. Powerful, tons comes out, good diffusion. I don't know if you can see my hand, it's pretty wet. Yeah. Okay, so right off the bat, there is, surprise, surprise, a woody iris. And the iris here is supported by cedar wood. Of course, the name Iris Cedre, that's iris cedar in English. And there is a little bit of neroli in it too. And so right off the bat, you see a lot of similarities to Prada L'Homme. But this just smells, the blend here is a cut above. It smells a little bit more sweet. There's a little bit less resinous deepness to this scent than there is in Prada L'Homme. Prada L'Homme is clean, but it has that kind of clean, soapy amber accord, that resinous, slightly deep, yet ultimately soapy amber accord. There's and so basically what I'm talking about there is a soapy amber. And this doesn't have that. It's still a little bit soapy, but the soap here is coming from really light use of benzoin, along with a little bit of incense, little smoky incense and neroli, and it really does work well. It's clean, and in many ways, it serves a lot of the same kind of versatility of purpose as Prada L'Homme. This is a great work scent. This is a great casual scent. This can work semi-formally extremely well, too. I think, actually, this can work semi-formally a little bit better than Prada L'Homme. Prada L'Homme really does scream work scent to me, whereas this has a little bit more of that refinement, a little bit more of the slightly overstated florals compared to Prada L'Homme. And I think that will set you apart a little bit in semi-formal situations. I think you're going to smell like no one else in the room in a semi-formal situation if you're wearing this. So there's a clean soapiness to this but it's a different soapiness. People talk about Prada L'Homme as being a soapy scent, and they're not wrong. There's a soapy quality to it, but it's Prada. All their scents are soapy. The soapiness here is different than the soapiness in Prada L'Homme, and that's owing to the fact that there isn't that amber accord. So it's a kind of a more high-pitched soapiness. It's not quite as deep. It doesn't quite dig down into your nostrils as much as Prada L'Homme does. It's not quite as dark. Let's put it that way. Now, I know you're gonna say dark. Prada L'Homme is not a dark scent, and you're right. It's not a dark scent. It's light, it's airy, it's floral, it's sweet. It's wonderful. This is lighter than that. Not lighter in terms of projection and longevity, but just in terms of the vibe that it comes across. This is a really happy scent, and not happy as in manic smile on your face. That slap happiness that comes to mind when people call a scent happy. This is just screams contentment. It screams, doesn't even scream. It says, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. That's what it says. It's really nice. That cedar accord is mixing with a little bit of smoke, a little bit of neroli, a little bit of benzoin. And so interestingly enough, the smoke is contributing to the soapy accord here. You don't often think about smoke or incense as being part of like that soapiness, but the incense smoke here totally is participating in that accord. Yeah, and it's almost like there's a bit of there's a bit of a Nag Champa incense vibe going on here. It's much cleaner than that, but there's a similarity in the way that the incense is contributing to the soapiness. Nag Champa has kind of a soapy vibe as incenses go, and this has that going on for sure. So there's something a little just slightly adventurous about this scent. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a safe scent, but as safe scents go, the way that the notes are blended together, I think that there is something slightly adventurous about it. It's really nice. I don't know. I've smelled this. I just got this bottle a few days ago, so I'm still exploring the scent. But every time I wear it, I'm picking up some more nuances of what's in the bottle. So in terms of comparing the two, I think this one is more kind of immediately mass appealing. Yeah, that soapy amber accord, I think really screams mass appeal right off the top. Yeah, it just kind of pleases my nose immediately. But then it doesn't really, this one is a pretty linear scent. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's a nice scent, don't get me wrong. I love it. But this develops a little bit. And in its high-pitchedness, it's a very high-pitched scent. It does a lot with its top notes. And the top notes change and evolve quite a bit. And they really extend into the dry down, into the heart and the dry down. I think it's a really interesting scent as these kind of versatile, work-appropriate scents go. Pretty happy with this, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to like it quite as much as I do. This isn't gonna blow your mind in terms of uniqueness or kind of novelty of ingredients or notes or anything. This is just a really well blended iris cedar scent with a soapy Nag Champa incense backdrop. Really nice, versatile, clean. If you're looking to smell for something that smells a little bit like Prada L'Homme but is going to set you apart from others who are kind of wearing that in your workplace, this is a really good choice. It doesn't smell like Prada L'Homme, although there are some similar notes. It's doing enough different that I think you can warrant having both in your collection. And if you're just going to have one, I don't know, be a little different. This one's just as good, if not better, than Prada L'Homme in terms of the way that I like it. Why not go for this one? It certainly is the least worn of the two in terms of popularity and number of sales and such. So if you want to be a little bit different, this is a good choice. So if you have any questions about the scent that I have not answered in my description of it, in my comparison with Prada L'Homme, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll answer it and give you my thoughts as best I can in terms of the question that you ask. And I hope that if you do get your hands on a bottle or a sample of Prada Infusion Iris Cedre, you enjoy it as much as I do. Thanks very much, and we will see you soon.